Work at Walmart. I moved here in 3rd grade. I went to elementary school at Rodburn, and moved up from there. Of course, got the Corvettes. Gotta have the vets on there. Yeah, I hope to go to MCTC, go into carpentry or any kind of computer programming class, and go from there. That's about it about me. I mean, I work at Walmart, push carts. I was a cashier, and then I moved to cart pushing because people can, get a little frustrating occasionally, as you'll see later on in the presentation, of course. I'm just going to quickly move through these. Personal responsibility and learning. Last year, 2022, I wrecked my first car. Very unfortunate, but it taught me a lot. I'm going to be honest. It really taught me a lot about how I need to take my actions and take responsibility for them and be mindful of others more and just really be more careful. Very reckless actions. And I've got a new car. I'm good. I'm good now. Difficult times. In 2019, we went through COVID. And we all had to wear masks, and we all know how that was. We all went through it. I went online for that entire time, and it was very stressful, and it was a struggle, honestly, to even learn, and it was very struggle. I did come back junior year, and I'm back now, obviously. Okay. So risks, and to fail forward. Whenever I was looking for a job in 2021, I applied to so many places, got interviews, and got denied many times. And I took those risks because everybody wants a job. Everybody wants to move forward in life and take that big step to take more responsibility. And I failed so many times. And Walmart finally, I finally got a hold of them. They're very difficult people to get a hold of. I'm going to let you all know. And yeah, I'm hired at Walmart. That's all for this one, really. Oh, there's a picture of my dad. Oh, yeah.
Right, before you move on, I think lifelong learner is so important. Okay. Because, it just, you don't have to go back to anything. I just want to kind of talk about some things you said and connect it to some things that I want you to know. But, lifelong learning is so important because it kind of humbles us in a way. But every struggle and challenge we go through is a part of growing, and we learn from those things. And so in the beginning, you look at it as something that would make you want to quit. But actually, it does more good than bad in the end. When I first started, I was a break aide with a degree, but yet I had to start out as a break aide giving teachers bathroom breaks. And, I had a teaching degree. I thought, but I learned from that experience, and I think that's where I was supposed to be. Everything that happened, the jobs I didn't get, like you said, you went through all these, they make you a better person, and it kind of humbles you, and so to speak. What were your thoughts when you were challenged in not getting hired or wrecking your car? Did you have a challenge like, I just want to stop, I don't want, and what made you continue?
Oh yeah, definitely. Whenever I did wreck my car, I thought everything was over. I was like, my parents hate me right now, that they're so disappointed in me. I thought about quitting my job. I thought about just giving up in general. Like my mental health just went all the way to the floor.
What kept you going?
What is it?
What kept you going?
I'd say my friends, really. They really helped me get through that. It was a very difficult time, but I made it through it. I'm here. Jobs, okay. What kept me going to just keep going through to job to try and find a good place to work was just want to take responsibility and try and make that big step to like adulthood, to show that I am worthy of working, and I can work, and I can go to school, and I can keep my grades up and change the status quo as we go on next. It's in there. But yeah, that's really about it. What's my next one here? Okay. Resolves conflict peacefully. At Walmart, as a cashier. I'm going to be talking about Walmart a lot. It's a very good example.
I'm happy to Walmart.
Okay, so resolving conflict peacefully. You know, Walmart as a cashier, there's going to be a lot of conflict. There's a lot of controversy with the self-checks. People hate them, and I understand exactly why I hate them too. So with the self-checks, you have to stand there and watch people basically with our little phones and stuff. And if something isn't scanned or something, you have to go up and you have to talk to that person, and you have to be like, oh, looks like our scanners missed something. And it's very awkward. It takes a lot of bravery. And usually people get pretty angry if you basically say they're stealing without saying they're stealing, you know. They're still going to get angry. And I usually have to just kind of shrug off whatever they say, which usually can be pretty rude, but I don't really mind it. And I kill them with kindness, as they would say. Yeah, that's off with that one.
Or a lot to ask of kids.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an adult skill. I mean, to be able to confront and have those crucial conversations, that's an adult skill.
Yeah.
And so you're getting well prepared.
It is very difficult to do. I will just let you all know. If you ever work at Walmart, which I don't see you guys working at Walmart.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah. You never know.
At my older age, I might go to Walmart.
Yeah, I want to be the greeter. Yeah.
So using digital media responsibly. I engage with digital media like all of us do. Let's be honest. We all are scrolling through TikTok or on your Facebook or whatever you're using, and I use it honestly to kind of engage myself with the world and go keep up to date with news and use it as a source of learning. And I also obviously never post anything vulgar or inappropriate, because that could always ruin you for a job or anything like that. That's really about it. There's my Instagram. There's not much on there, honestly. There was this one. Actually, that one's a video. I don't want to really let you guys watch that. That was from last year. It's a rough one, I'm going to be honest.
Did y'all know Bralen is a creative writer as well?
Oh yeah, I am a creative writer.
I can see that in your personality.
I saw your voice back in, I think it was your lifelong learner. You, scroll for just a second. Right there. So I applied to Walmart and boom, I got lucky and got the job. Love
Yep.
it.
that is very lucky, I'm going to be honest. Okay. This is kind of a stretch, but one way that I positively impact the community is by pushing carts so people can obviously get their groceries and get the things they need from Walmart, because let's be honest, everybody goes to Walmart. Everybody. And I'm also a cautious shopper now, so that's I'm positively impacting the community by doing that. There's a picture of some carts. Embraces cultural understandings and diversities. Another sort of stretch, but not really. At Walmart, I interact with many different types of cultures and diversities, and whenever I was a cashier, I've had to talk to so many people every day. And on register, people just spill their heart out to you. They're everything they live for, they just tell you. they don't have a line, that they don't have a limit to anything they'll tell you. And they told me so many stories, and they try to push religion on me and all kinds of things. And that's just one way that, you know, I've seen so much cultural diversity and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna move on. Where was this? Whoa. Okay. We'll do participates in democratic processes. Okay. I can't vote. I'm 17, but if I could vote, I would definitely have a good idea of who I would vote for, and my opinions on all the people running. Yeah, that's about it for that one.
If you were going to vote, what would be your go-to for any information you would need to be informed? What do you choose for your news and information? Where do you go to be informed on current events or, anything that you would need to know to be able to vote?
Definitely a well-trusted news source.
You watch the news on TV?
Occasionally.
Or is it mostly on your phone?
It's mostly on my phone. I see all kinds of political stuff on my phone, and I try and, as much as I don't understand it that much, I try and watch through it and try and get a good understanding of it, and try and get my opinion more solidified of who I would, go for anything like that. Does that answer your question? Okay. Demonstrate civic responsibility. Back last year in my civil engineering class, we went to the conference center and we built quilt racks for their quilt show, and it was a blast. They were so nice. They were all so sweet ladies, and they fed us, so I was all in for it. Yeah, there's all the quilt racks, and I thought that was me, but I don't think it's me in that picture. I think it's all for this one too. Okay. Which ones do I have marked? Okay. Willing to change the status quo. Okay. This is a big one. The status quo for students these days is probably to make it through high school, go to college, keep good grades, just try and be successful. Maybe get a job in there if you can keep it. But I'm not one who's content with that. I'm trying to go above the status quo. I'm keeping my job. I'm keeping good grades. Staying in school. I'm not tardy ever. I'm not late. I've missed a couple days, but that's okay. It's very challenging to keep a job and go to school and try and balance your work and your school, and I feel like I'm pretty good at that at this point. I've done it. I've been almost at Walmart for 2 years, and I've almost been back in school for 2 years, and it's difficult, but it's definitely doable, and I would like to push everyone to get a job in high school, to take that extra step to becoming more responsible and becoming more I can't think of the word. There was a word I had for that. I promise.
Bralen, can you think of a time that you had to step out of your comfort zone, and what that was like for you? An experience of any kind that, like, you knew that this wasn't a comfortable situation, but you still had to force yourself to see through it?
Definitely. I'll use Walmart as an example once again.
Okay.
Those self-checks, I'm telling you. So, if one time I caught a lady with a whole buggy of stuff, she was just throwing in bags, and that was so uncomfortable to have to walk up and be like, excuse me, there's some items you've missed, and then I pick up a bag and I'm scanning the entire bag of stuff. And her sitting there screaming at me and all that. It's very uncomfortable, traumatizing, honestly. That my first time doing that was awful, but I was told that's what you got to do, and you kind of just push through it. Does that answer your question? Okay. Approach these obstacles with creativity and curiosity. I've always tried to look at things on the brighter side, like that rainbow right there at Walmart, of course. So obstacles at Walmart while pushing carts are rain. Rain. It's very difficult to push carts in the rain.
People who don't put their carts back where they're supposed to go.
Absolutely not. If there's any kind of weather thing involved, the carts are everywhere. That's like the main thing with carts, pushing carts, is the rain.
After you get comfortable telling people they're stealing, then you can be comfortable telling people to put their carts back.
Yeah, definitely. I don't like to do that because it's kind of, it's my job to pick them up, and
Right.
it's not too bad out of my way, but yeah. I identify problems usually. at Walmart, there's a lot of problems with the systems that go through, and outside there's a lot of problems. Like the thing that pushes carts half the time works, so I end up usually having to use my hands to push them. It's a struggle out there. They don't really care too much about us. All of our walkie-talkies don't have buttons. We can't talk back. So they're just yelling for us all the time.
That to me would be a major challenge.
It is a challenge.
I can have any reciprocal conversation. You just have to listen.
I'll be there in a second.
Just yelling at the top of my lungs. That's probably good enough now. Oh, I wanted to show this. That was a concert I went to not long back, but you can't really see anything because it's dark.
Wait, tell us about that, because I saw down there at the bottom all of those things I've never done before.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So not too long ago, I went to my first concert. It was a blast. Me and my girlfriend went to Lexington, and we went to the mall and Olive Garden, and then we went to the concert, and it was so fun. I didn't have a voice after that for about 3 or 4 days. I sound like a robot, honestly, but it was so fun to just go to different places I've never been to and experience those things, and just the new environments and those new memories was just really fun. It was a blast. I encourage everyone to go to a concert. Oh, I want to talk about this one too real quick. Don't look at that picture. At Walmart, as a cart pusher, I actually implemented a new idea and a new change to how we push carts. So for the automotive center, it is like you've got the front of the I'm going to kind of just use your imagination here, okay? You've got the front of the store, and then way back here is the automotive center, and there's always so many buggies back there, and a lot of the cart pushers forget to get them. Excuse me. And so around the back of the store, there's like a huge way like that trucks go through there to deliver freight and shipment and whatever. So what we actually started doing was, instead of going all the way from the grocery side all the way around to get them and then go all the way back, we actually started going around the building, and it kind of made it easier to turn those carts from this angle into the cart bay from like this angle, you know. It was always a wreck. It was always a mess. But
so is everybody doing that now?
Yeah,
Oh.
all the cart pushers do that now. All the closing ones, that is. The morning ones, they don't help you out that much.
Do you normally work the closing shift?
Yes, mostly all the time. I've never opened out there, ever. It's always I usually get off at 10 o'clock, and if you don't have the parking lot picked up too well, you can stay over a little bit to try and clean it up a little bit. And a bunch of our closing cart pushers quit not too long ago, and they would stay till 11. But there's no one there till 11 now whenever the store closes. So whatever's there after 10, it's kind of out of I can't really do too much about it. But I'll talk about that right here, I think that's this one. Oh, yeah. I had a wig on. Where's it at? Oh, okay. This one right here. That guy quit. Okay. Okay. Anyways, values, individual contributions, and teamwork. I'm gonna put like 3 of these together because they're all so similar, and I've really linked them together very well, I think. I value my coworkers a lot because it's hard to do that job by yourself, pushing those carts. It's very difficult. I value them so much to help me and help me get through the night and help me, get it all done before 10 so we can all go home. Then that's Wyatt. That's my other coworker. He's still there. I challenged. So I challenge my team members to think forward. Like okay, so there's different places where buggies have to be. There's the grocery side, the pharmacy side, then you have the lawn and garden side, which also is now open, and you have to keep buggies in there too. So I'm always kind of like throwing things out there for us to do, like a checklist almost, and just trying to think forward on what we have to do, when we have to take our breaks, when we have to take our lunches to effectively, get the parking lot done. It's kind of like just, hey, I'm gonna go at 7, you go at 8, and just stuff like that, or hey, can you go grab 2 and 3 and throw it in lawn and garden real quick while I'm picking up grocery. It's just throwing things out there like, oh, do this, that, and
So you're trying to get ahead of problems before
definitely. That was somewhere on here. I can't remember where it's at, but that was something big I put on there. Oh yeah, someone backed into my carts one day, and it was a Malibu.
That's a backup camera.
Yeah.
Bralen, you talk about having teamwork at Walmart and then the importance of having everybody work together to be very efficient and things like that. Can you think of a time here at school where you have had to work with others and collaborating with others and what you learned from it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I know you work in groups, probably have projects,
Yeah.
those types of things here at Brown County.
I haven't had one in actually a while, but recently in Mr. Piercy's class, we were doing a skit, and I had a partner, and we worked pretty good on it, and then she's kind of disappeared for a couple days, and I had to kind of do it solo. But
That's a learning experience.
it's definitely a learning experience. Sitting there talking to yourself, like going back and forth, like.
The real world's a lot like that too, buddy. The real world's like that too. People will leave you hanging. They'll leave you hanging some. Yeah.
But just going back and forth on myself, trying to go, does this make sense? If there was someone else standing here and we were talking like that, would that make sense? That's definitely a big, little group project that included teamwork and just left out the team, so it was just work.
But you still learn from it.
Definitely. Was there any more I was gonna show? Yep, that guy, he quit.
That really has bothered you.
It really does bother me. Now, okay. Big thing with working inside is I've always tried to understand the customer's perspective whenever I was a cashier. I never was purposely mean to anybody, or I never took things to heart that people said to me, because you really never know what someone's going through. You never know until you walk in someone's shoes, or you really talk to that person. You never know what's going on, and I've always just tried to be as nice as possible to people, to try and maybe make their day better by listening to them, listening to their stories, like I talked about earlier, or just trying to be nice, tell them have a good day, or anything like that. I've always tried to be helpful like that, and just respect. That's kind of the whole deal there. Obviously, it's in the name. I don't think there's anything else I really wanted to show. Unless, I wanted to show Mr. Piercy helping me and receiving meaningful feedback. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it, with my cops and robbers. This is a beautiful, beautiful story for our class book, and Mr. Piercy here helped me so much with it. He gave me so much feedback and so many grammar issues, and
Bralen also volunteered we had some Morehead State students come in, and they got to volunteer to request feedback from some Morehead State students.
Yeah.
And Bralen was one of the few that took advantage of that opportunity.
And
After he had already written and turned it in, was willing to say, hey, maybe there are some other things.
I marked you in Exceeds in Lifelong Learner, and I'm glad because he says that, because I got the vibe from you that you're willing to learn and grow in everything you do.
And yeah, I take those extra, couple steps to get extra feedback or extra time to learn, or however that may go.
Bralen, I got a question too.
Yes, sir.
I know you made a special request for Miss Collins to be here.
Yes.
Why was that? Why did you want Miss Collins here?
So I had just come back from COVID. It was junior year, and she was my English teacher, and she just made it such a blast. She made Gatsby a blast. That other book we read, I think. I can't exactly remember it.
I must admit.
Yes. that was it. But yeah, she made it a blast, and it reminded me how fun it was to be back at school and how much I missed it actually.
Bralen, going back to that last slide, did you, and talking about how you try to make people stay better, do you by chance remember, did you and one of your friends load mulch for me in a truck the other day?
I definitely did.
And we had to figure out how to open
Mhm.
the back. So now that I'm putting two and two together, I drove off thinking, those were two of the sweetest boys I have ever seen at Walmart. You made my day better that day. I just want you to know. And you all were just sweet, like loading mulch. But I mean, I literally drove off thinking, you were so sweet.
I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's like my whole goal, is to just make people's day better any way I can. Whether that be, loading their groceries in their car, whether that be loading mulch for them, carrying out a 75-inch TV by myself and loading it into a PT Cruiser by myself. Definitely a struggle. I've had to do that before. It's not fun, but if I can do anything to make someone's day better, I always try to. Let's review. I'm definitely a lifelong learner. I've learned from my mistakes, and I'm always trying to persist through difficulties, and I set goals for myself. Like going into carpentry, or going into anything computer related, or taking some advice from my dad and him teaching me how to work on my car. That's always going to help me out in the future. How to change a tire, change your oil, whatever. It's always going to help me out in the future. Effective communicator. I'd say I talk pretty well. My accent probably makes it a little bad, but I feel like I can speak pretty clearly, and I can listen pretty well and understand questions that you guys have asked me, obviously, and respond pretty well. And from my experience at Walmart, I have never gotten punched, so I'd say I resolve conflict pretty peacefully. I'd say I adapt to the need of the audience pretty well. That's just one of my coworkers. She quit. I'm calling them all out.
I will tell you this, and I'll be honest. A lot of your generation, when things get hard, they do. They quit. They quit, but you haven't quit.
No, ma'am.
And you're going places. I think the world's a lot better place with you in it, right?
Thank you.
I really do.
I try my best. I'd like to leave my mark on Walmart. I'd like my name to be up on the wall, or like my picture somewhere. Even if it's in like a dark corner, I'd be happy with it there. But I feel that I'm pretty good at adapting to the needs of y'all. I'm not talking to you how I talk to my friends. If I was talking to my friends, I'd be like, "What's up?" I'm not gonna be like that to y'all. I'm gonna be more respectful, obviously. I've already talked about that. I'm just kind of going through the ones I didn't really talk about too much. I'd say I'm pretty safe, legal, and ethical. Yeah, that's the word. I don't do anything illegal. That just doesn't really interest me. It doesn't fit into my lifestyle, if I would say. As other people, it just kind of, maybe they grew up with it or whatever, and it just kind of blends into their life. That doesn't really spark my interest at all to do anything illegal. Just keep it legal, That could also lead to making unethical decisions, anything like that. Oh, you guys will see me scraping ice off at Walmart.
That's what I came here to see.
some problems, like some. Okay, so one problem, as I've talked about, is whenever I'm outside and they put me by myself without anyone to help me close at all, it's very difficult, and it can be done. I've done it so many times, but sometimes if it's busy or if you get a bunch of people having big TVs, like 75-inch TVs, it gets a little rough. It's definitely a struggle, and one way I try and make it through that is trying to think about when I can take my breaks, when I can take my lunch, to effectively use my time to either pick up the parking lot or take my lunch and come back and do it all over again. I've even skipped my break before, to my first break, to make sure it looked okay before I went to lunch. I believe I've talked about that one. I talked about that one definitely. Talked about that one. And I've definitely talked about that one. I'd say, working at Walmart and interacting with other people, I'm definitely a pretty critical thinker, active collaborator. Let's see. Talked about that. How I just my coworkers are. I love them so much for everything they do, and I appreciate them every day for helping me push those carts, because it is a job, and I'm so glad that Wyatt has not quit on me. I'm so, like that guy right there.
Maybe you're keeping Wyatt there.
I'm definitely, he has a surgery coming up in a couple months, and he's gonna have to probably go on a leave, and it's definitely gonna impact me. I'm definitely gonna not have as much help as I once did, and I'm definitely gonna have a struggle bus there for a couple months until he comes back, because me and him are like one of the only closers, other than this one guy they kind of throw in there every once in a while. But that's really about it, guys. Any questions or anything?
When you were at Robburn, did you have Mrs. Ann or Mrs. Pratt?
I had, is that third grade?
Uh-huh.
I had Miss Spencer.
Miss Spencer, okay.
She was kind of the first person that I was introduced to, obviously going into third grade, and that's where I met Wyatt.
You went to Robburn too?
Yeah.
Aww.
I sat beside him, and he said, the first words he said to me were, "If I talk too much, just slap me." That, yeah. That's about it.
So if you have work, like school work,
Mhm.
when do you put that into your schedule?
Okay. It's usually either really late at night or right after I get out of school, because I have work experience. So I get out at 1:15, and Walmart won't schedule me before 4 o'clock on school days. So I have from 1:15 to 4 to either try and get schoolwork done, take a nap or anything, or anything needs to be done in between there, like gas or food or anything, to just squeeze between there and then go to work. That's usually where I kind of squeeze in schoolwork, between that 1 to 4, and it can definitely be really stressful, being like, oh, I gotta to get this done, I gotta get it turned in, gotta get it submitted. Either that, or whenever I get off and I get home, I can kind of do it. But I have those MCTC classes in the morning, so I have to be up really early, and I don't want to be late. And it's definitely 12 is usually my limit. Last night was 1, but we making it. We making it.
You're young. You got this.
Definitely. I run with no sleep. See, thank you for being here.
Well, we have thoroughly enjoyed this presentation.
I'm glad.
And every time I'm at Walmart now, I'm going to be looking for you.
Definitely. I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'm always there. I'll
I'll
look.
see you pushing those carts. I'll see if I can help you out a little bit.